The anchor. Your brain is a lazy liar, and its favorite trick is the anchor, the first information trap. Your brain latches onto the first number it's given and builds all further judgments around it. A price tag in a store, $2,000 crossed out, new price $999. The anchor is $2,000, and $999 seems like a bargain, even though the item's real value might be $500. The same thing happens in salary negotiations, during sales, in any bargain. The first number spoken defines the playing field. It feels rational. You think you're starting from a fact, but you're actually tied to someone else's manipulation. You're sure you're analyzing, but you're just reacting. You are not the one making the decision. The decision was already made for you when they offered the right anchor. Your freedom is an illusion, limited by the first price you see. Your freedom of choice ends where the first number begins. The sunken cost. Your brain hates to admit losses. Instead of tutting your losses, it forces you to invest even more into a sinking ship, because to stop is to admit that all previous efforts were for nothing. You finish a boring movie because you've already spent an hour on it. You stay in a toxic relationship because we've been together for so many years. You pour your last dollars into a failing business project because so much has already been invested. Every new investment is an attempt to justify the old ones. It feels like persistence and loyalty to your choice. I'm not a quitter. You feel like a captain who doesn't abandon his ship even as it goes under. But this isn't persistence, it's fear. The fear of admitting your mistake. The past holds your future hostage. You're throwing good money after bad just so you don't feel stupid. You're not trying to save the project. You're trying to save your ego. The survivor. We build our worldview on the stories of winners. Why? Because the losers are silent. Their stories are buried with them. This is survivorship bias. Drop out of college like Bill Gates. We see one Gates and ignore the millions who dropped out and failed. We hear about dolphins saving people by pushing them to shore, but we'll never hear the stories of those they pushed out into the open ocean. We only see those who survived to tell the tale. This creates false hope. The world seems like a place where success is guaranteed if you just follow the greats. It's an inspiring, beautiful, and completely false picture of the world. In reality, this bias sells you a lottery ticket disguised as a business plan. It makes you risk everything based on a statistical anomaly, ignoring the real odds. You're looking at the top of the mountain, not noticing the cemetery at its base. The headline. Your brain thinks that if something is easy to recall, it must be important and must happen often. This is the availability heuristic. We are afraid of flying because images of plane crashes are vivid and easy to remember. But we're not afraid of driving, even though it's statistically far more dangerous. We fear shark attacks more than death by falling coconut, because they make movies about sharks, not coconuts. It feels like intuition based on experience. I hear about it all the time. You're certain your fears are rational because they're supported by stories that easily come to mind. But your picture of the world isn't shaped by reality, it's shaped by news headlines and dramatic stories. The media constructs your fears by choosing the most vivid and terrifying events. You're not afraid of what will kill you. You're afraid of what will make the evening news. The peak of stupidity. Mount Stupid. The moment when your knowledge is so limited that you can't even recognize your own incompetence. This is the Dunning-Kruger effect. Experts in the comments section. People who've read one article on economics and argue with Nobel laureates. A novice who's sure they've mastered a craft in a week. They are all on top of this mountain. They don't know enough to see how much they don't know. It feels like intoxicating confidence. The world seems simple and understandable. You feel on top of the world, able to solve any problem because you haven't yet faced real complexity. But true experts are full of doubt. They know the limits of their knowledge. If you are absolutely certain you are right, you are most likely at the very bottom. That certainty is a wall that prevents you from learning. Confidence isn't a sign of knowledge. It's a sign that you don't yet know how much you don't know. The judge. We explain others' actions by their personality, but our own actions by the situation. This is the fundamental attribution error. Inside each of us sits a fast and unfair judge. A colleague is late. He's irresponsible. You're late. The traffic was terrible. He failed the project. He's lazy. You failed the project. The market conditions were difficult. We see others as flat characters with a single trait, and ourselves as complex heroes in the middle of a drama. This gives you a sense of moral superiority. It's easy to judge others. It simplifies the world into a clear scheme of good people and bad people, and you, of course, are always on the good side. But this error is the root of most conflicts, judgment, and lack of empathy. It makes us see villains where there are just people facing struggles we can't see. You judge others by their actions, and yourself by your intentions. The echo chamber. Your brain doesn't seek truth, it seeks comfort. And the greatest comfort is being right. This is confirmation bias. You search Google for information that confirms your opinion. You subscribe to channels that say what you already think. You discard any facts that contradict your worldview on politics, health, or yourself. Every piece of confirmation is a dopamine hit for your ego. It feels like being right, smart, and belonging to the correct group. Your world becomes stable and predictable. You feel safe inside the walls of your beliefs. But this is an intellectual prison you build for yourself. You don't grow, you just reinforce the walls of your cage. Your opinion stops being a tool for learning and becomes your identity. You don't own your beliefs own you. The halo. The most insidious bias. A single positive quality in a person, beauty, confidence, status, casts a shining halo over everything else about them, and vice versa. This is the halo effect. We automatically assume beautiful people are more intelligent, kinder, and more successful. Products in stylish packaging seem to be of higher quality. A politician with a confident voice seems competent, even if he's speaking nonsense. We see the halo, not what lies behind it. It's a mental shortcut. It relieves us from the need to think and analyze. It's not logical. It just feels right. The brain takes the easy path, following the shine. This bias is the foundation of propaganda, marketing, and most of our social judgments. We fall in love not with the person, but with their halo. We vote not for a platform, but for an image. It shapes the world around us, and we don't even notice. We don't judge a book by its cover. We don't even read the book if we like the cover. I'll be making more videos like this. Subscribe to see them.